Hey, I just saw this. Good job, Bitcoin.com. Um, so it's not planned or anything, but it's a paper wallet for people that get nervous of what wallet to use. This is the wallet to use. It's a paper wallet. You just print it out, put it on there, make 5 copies, um, and remember your private key. And does this have the double encryption? But another trick for double encryption, you want to have a good password, something that you remember, but can't be hacked. So just um, hash it. I went to the wrong one. Let's see. Okay, this one will give you all the different hashes. So um, I don't know if you can see this or not, but let's say your password is I love tacos. That's not very good, but you can hash it. And then this is on the internet, so you can remember that and get it anytime you want. So uh, then you just suck, say you wanted to use, I would personally use an oddball one, but here's your password. So I don't even know if this is going to show up. So, anyways, you take this. Let's say you want to copy it. You can rehash it again. And take that. And, well, all you got to do is remember. Let's clear this off. I don't remember what I wrote. Tacos are good. Tacos are good. Remember, if you can put a period. Let's say you had a secret crush on a girl or guy, and you didn't tell anyone. You could just put that Tom Jones or Tom John. How about that? No caps. How about that? And you'll notice that's a totally different hash. I'm sure you already know this, but anyways, a lot of crazy stuff today. InfoWars, they just deleted the guy. YouTube, Reddit, LinkedIn, every single thing. They just got rid of him. We don't like your ranting. So that is the spookiest thing of the month, year, decade. What is going on? Um, other thing I've been ranting forever about is the no Hodl crap. Um, it's a mantra now. No Hodl. That is a big mistake. Economically speaking, if everyone in theory sold all their coins, the miners wouldn't even get paid $1. It would be worthless. There'd be too many sellers on the buyers. That's how the market works. Um, Roger, my friend, I know you've been around. When I give out wallets back in the day, it was always because of the greed of the future appreciation. Back then, there was only one Bitcoin. Still only one. There's Bitcoin, but I'd offer to buy it off. If they change their mind, $20. If you don't want it, I'll take it. I'm keeping it till $1,000,000. What? Maybe I'll hold on to this. And then they're off to the races. Come for the greed. Here, that's a good password. For the greed. stay for the service. Oh, look there, a free password for y'all. All right. The other thing is the legacy addresses. I just bookmark BitPays, which so what you do is you don't go there. Go to address from BitPay, and then you just put in your. What's happening is you put your legacy address or the wrong address, and it doesn't take it. So you put it here, and it gives you like every address possible. You can, they're all the same thing, but they're in different formats. I want to go over the transaction fee. The problem with this attack through SegWit is we lost precious time, and Core almost destroyed it. Thank goodness for Bitcoin Cash. Good job. That being said, it was always meant to be that the reward, the block reward, which halves every 4 years. So start off at 50 Bitcoins every 10 minutes, ideally. 4 years, then it automatically adjusts down to 25. Now it's at 12.5. And that goes out over 100 years. And it's to be phased out through a market derived transaction fee. The problem with that is you don't know if you have 100 million or you have a million transactions, so it's hard to do the math. But if you use incentives, economically, it will always be correct. So I don't even have something for you to look at right now, but how it works is I'm going to use hand gestures. Okay, so basically what a burn fee is, it's retained earnings. It's value through scarcity, just like a stock. If there was 1,000 shares or partners and you bought back 100 of them, the other, let's just say 9 out of 10, are individually would split the profit 9 ways instead of 10. So it's a little bit abstract when you're thinking about scarcity, but trust me, it's the same. When you print a lot of dollars, it's called inflation. Each dollar is worth less, okay? So anyways, what do we want out of the miners? What is their job? Okay, so the block reward does not change. This is the part where people go off the deep end. So right now they are actually they're fighting over the block reward. In all honesty, the transaction fees are secondary. They're cheap. They're just incidental compared to the transactions fees. But that's not always going to be that way. So right now is the time before all the bullshit and all the consensus. Let's have 100 people vote on it. Has that ever worked? I mean, in the history of time, how is that not laughable? But anyways, so la-di-da, they're after the block reward right now. They take the problem with the EDA or whatever they call it now, VDA, is that hash rate would come over and it would get blocked so fast that the time horizon would actually shorten. It would be 4 minutes, 3 minutes, 2 minutes. And so what happens is you have 120 years and it starts to come in. You don't want that. So here's how the burn fee and the transaction going forward would take care of it automatically forever. So miners are paid forever. Set it and forget it. That's how it is. None of this would even be needed if there wasn't such a hiccup in 1,000 fucking bullshit coins, ICOs, and SegWit coin, virus, um, RPF, the elite program. Okay, so anyway, so what would happen is you have, let's say, you have a miner. He's working, boom, he gets the block in 12 minutes. He gets the reward, obviously. He always gets half of the transaction fees for getting the award. That's a done deal. The other half, okay, so you got the block reward, the big chunk, you got half the transaction fees, but it was 12 minutes. That's not what we wanted. We wanted it in 10 minutes. So what happens is that other half just rolls over to the next block. You go, well, what the hell does that do? As it rolls over, it becomes advantageous to grab that increasing transaction. See what's happening? It puts pressure, incentive, pressure. It's not coercive. It's just that the prize is getting bigger. And as the price gets bigger, it will bring more hash rate to go and cash in that money. That's what miners do. They make money, they cash in. Okay, see what happens? And as they come in, it goes faster. So it's set at 9.5 or 9 minutes, 30 seconds to 10 minutes. So the miner successfully gets it in 9 minutes, 45 seconds. He gets the block reward, he gets the half no matter what, and he gets the second half plus all the rollover. You see what's happening here? Now, where the magic comes in is, what if a lot of hash rate comes over? And they're getting it in 7 minutes and 8 minutes. And that might be good for the miner, but it's not actually good for the longevity of the Bitcoin. So that's where each time they actually go too fast, they get the block reward, they get half the transaction fees, and the other half get burned or go into the ecosystem of equity, scarcity. So it's not coming closer because you're destroying those and you're taking them out of circulation forever. See what's happening? So the value through scarcity, and efficient market theory, long story short, it means all value in the future is absorbed and reflected in the price today. You have a farmland, you strike oil, even though it's going to be 2 years before you get that oil out, the corporation's book value, the value of that corporation actually goes up, even though they're not going to get it out for 2 years. You see what I'm saying? All knowledge is absorbed into the price and reflected therefore. That's the fastest, easiest definition, but it's a fact, so the miner still doesn't lose because it goes into the ecosystem and everybody wins, and technically it gets reflected back. This is part of how you have a world currency. You do it in phases. First phase, dominate the globe. You know what I'm saying? You get the 5 billion. Everybody's using it. Like Gillette, give the razors away for free, and then charge them. What's wrong with me? The shavers away for free, and then sell them the razors. We saw Jack Ma, Alibaba's, the career, China, and the whole 9 yards, would not borrow a dime. Then he comes over to the United States and he does an IPO. World's largest IPO, by the way, a side note. People go, oh man, that's interesting. No, it's strategic. Okay, if you want to open up your doors to a huge customer base, let's say the U.S., it's a lot of propaganda, a lot of greasing the. Anyways, it's a lot of work. Or you could think strategically more long term, not so short term, and do an IPO. What an IPO does is it opens up a part of the company to the public. So now you have um, the fat cats buying the IPO. Now they are part of the IPO. They own, let's say, stock in it, like let's say Alibaba, and magically there's no friction coming into the country and selling your goods. You see what's happening here? Okay, that's just a really cheesy example. Um, Point being is phase one, dominate um, the world currency. Okay, that's what this algorithm does, is because it sets it forever. And not only that, and this is the part, since everybody's into their books so much, and it's not by me. Not no one goes over deflation. All of a sudden, you can't get bank loans. No, nothing changes. Even if the value is going up, that's the par value. So if it's, you can make up whatever you want. 5%, let's say, going up, then the bank would have to charge 10%. It would make it on top of that. Okay, so even though it's not written down, it's very easy to do. I mean, you can go to Salt Lending right now, um, and put up your Bitcoin as collateral, and you get old school like pawn shop almost. They'll collateralize it. Almost 2 to 1. 80% of it, and collateralized loan. Good way to sell off your BTC without a sell. That's another thing. If you did want to sell BTC or BCH or whatever, or pause it, like this whole tether thing is unnecessary. Same with derivatives. You could just use the futures or options, and for whatever it says, let's say right now you're like, it's too crazy. These people are saying no hodl, and you want to freeze your money, net zero. So let's say you had 100 Bitcoin, you get a futures contract, which is 100, and then out of the money, let's say for 3 months, whatever, and you pay your 3%, and on the short side, and then no matter what happens, you break even without selling anything. See what's happening? Put down a little fraction, 2-3%, and let's say your BTC goes down. Well, it goes up. You shorted it. I guess you go long on it. You go the reverse, and you just take the amount of BTC or BCH you have and do the reverse. You go short on the futures, and then you're taking a time out. I want to think about this. I want to freeze up half of it. Going from straight to derivatives is not advisable. It's as dumb as this no hodling stuff. Hodling is the equity. I don't care if they're fat cats, sweaty mother. You want people. Most of the wallets are dormant. Half of them are dormant. If you say no hodl, and that's the mantra, when you got all thousands of listed companies touting their company is the best, blah, 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 and you got the leaders in, let's say, BCH saying no hodl, as much as people go, he talks a big game, this, IPO is going to go crazy or whatever, and you judge it for yourself. Mentally, investors are not used to someone don't even hodl. I mean, you are going to kill. You know not what you're saying. They're like, all I know is they're saying no hodl. We're not welcome here. Okay. I'll let it play out. It doesn't matter, but your shit's going to be worth very little. That's how it works. That's how bank run works. Even in a bank run, transactions go through the roof. technically, if you want to get technical, I think buy something, you're still, someone's always receiving it. It's like vanishing. Um, but there's more sellers than there are buyers. So it will, if this mantra gets out there, it's going to be, you know, it's going to be all transactions. It's going to have no actual worth if you suck out the equity. Um, Saying that these fat lazy cats, you know, J.P. Morgan was a stud. Panama Canal. You know how many countries tried to do that? Saying that he just spent all this money and he's a joke is a joke itself. You know, he risked all that capital, and now we have Panama Canal. We give it back to him. But you know what I'm saying. All right, so this is probably 6 hours long now, so I don't know when to shut up. If you are a Hoyler, don't listen to any of these freaks. You know, they don't know what they're talking about. They are still listening to devs. This is as asinine as can be. That the computer programmer understands anything. You know, don't get me wrong, they're smart and they do understand the different things, but that is not a badge of economics. It's just not. I've heard more dumb shit than with the burn in the algorithm. It's not even debatable. Because they don't. You're not even allowed to talk about it. It's like I don't even go to Reddit. Reddit back in the day. Remember, I was pissed off because that, but it's happening again. You know, so if you see that no hodling mantra, maybe it's time to go on the sidelines for a little while. Like I said, you don't have to sell it. Just get your options, you know, and freeze it so it's a net. It doesn't move either way. Actually, do whatever you want. I'm just the no hurling thing. It's not as bad as SegWit, but man, if it continues, what you want, it's two sides of a coin. You know, it's got to be spendable, okay, and it's got to be savable for it to be dominant, okay. Because someone gets PTC, last thing to be able to just to hold it is a great feature. And boy, gosh, that's how it worked for 7-8 years, guys. Okay, what other motivation was there? I'll just leave it open, blank. Okay, if it wasn't for future appreciation, go ahead, try to, you know, have people spend for spending's sake. That's ridiculous. That's ridiculous. That being said, that's just literally all the bullshit. You know what I'm saying? That's how little there is. With Core, they're freaks of nature. Even a broken watch is right once in a while, twice a day. They're never right. They're always wrong. They would be better off if they didn't even show up for work. They have done nothing. They're the worst. You know, I don't care if they like, you know, program some thing inside there. It doesn't matter. The product that's coming out is market share cut in half. Samson, I don't. That's not a setup. I mean, then Blockstream's not a real company. You know what I'm saying? Like, he would not have a job. He would not have a job. What is his progress report at the end of the quarter? We lost another 10% of the market share. Oh, good. As long as we're safe. We're safely losing all of the business. You know, you're safely not taking any risk. And if you take a show of hands, Craig Ray had a excellent thing with shed a little bit of light of competition. I think it was the BCH boys he's on, and he was going over the medium, or like if all of us guessed the weight like at a circus, it comes out very, if you take the average, it comes out very accurate. But if people talk amongst themselves and literally they're influenced by each other, they're not taking a true guess from individual Jerry or you know what I'm saying, it is way off. So from that aspect, that part is actually fact. That is true. But just like in nature, you don't want to be part of what you're seeing or what you're observing, because you will actually change it. And I don't mean like you'll just change it, even if it's a small. I mean, there's so many. Anyways, go down a deep road. If your great great grandfather sneezed, none of us would be born. That's how many different combinations. Like right now, I just moved left. That ruined everything. I probably destroyed my great great grandkids. But that was way off topic. Anyways, I'm gonna stop this before I just keep going. Oh, I should have transition. What was the other thing people were confused on? I will do a next thing.